Welcome to this for PHP and MySQL tutorial, and in this part I will show you how to connect PHP with MySQL and perform all basic database operations, which include inserting, fetching, updating and deleting data step by step. Whether you are a beginner or just refreshing your skills, this part will help you understand everything clearly. Okay, so to follow along, you will need a XAMPP or WAMP server installed on your Windows computer or Microsoft, or not Microsoft, or Linux computer. Okay, so these tools provide both PHP and MySQL for local testing. Okay, so here I recommend installing XAMPP. Okay, it is better, and I have a video for that. Okay, there is a video for that. I will leave the link in the description to that video. Okay, so as you can see here, I have XAMPP. Okay, so if you in order to start this XAMPP, you can just press the Windows button and then type XAMPP like that, XAMPP. Okay, and then it will show up here, and then just click open. Okay, and it will open up. Okay, you get this interface. Okay, like this. Okay, so after doing that, you need to start the two servers. Okay, you need to start the Apache server and the MySQL server. Okay, so in order to start them, as you can see here, they have already started. I have already started them. Okay, as you can see here, if I click on stop, as you can see, I've stopped them, even this one. So in order to start them, you just need to click start, and even here you click start. Okay, so after doing that, you will be able to get a certain you will be capable of getting a certain interface. Okay, which is the admin panel. Okay, for MySQL and Apache, okay, server. So here, in order to get the MySQL interface, admin interface, you just click here, admin. Okay, and then your browser is going to open that interface for you. Okay, so as you can see, this is the interface that I have, and here, as you can see, these are the databases that I have. Okay, on my machine. Okay, in the XAMPP. Okay, so as you can see, these are the databases that I have in MySQL. Okay, in MySQL server. Okay, so these are the databases I have, and as you can see, so this one I'm going to delete this one. Okay, and in order to delete it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, as you can see here in the terminal or in the console. I'm just going to type drop database, and I'm going to name that to write the name of that database. It is test. Okay, so I want to create this database, okay, from scratch. Okay, so as you can see here, press Ctrl plus Enter to execute the query. So I'm going to press Ctrl and press the Enter button to execute. And if I press that, as you can see, so there was a certain error, no database selected. So okay, as you can see, so everything, as you can see here, MySQL returned an empty result, but it was okay. As you can see, it was okay. As you can see, this green tick, it was okay, and we no longer have that database. Okay, so in order to create a database that we are going to work with, you just press this this one here, new, and then you are going to come here, as you can see, create database, and here we write the name of the database. It is going to be called test. Okay, test database, and then you click here, create. Okay, so after doing that, database has been created, and it is right here, as you can see, test. It is right here, and it has no tables. Okay, as you can see here, no tables found in the database. Okay, so we need to create the table. Okay, we need to create our table. And in order to create our table, we just go down here. Let us go back. I'm going to use SQL. Okay, we can use the GUI, the graphical user interface, and we just enter the names of the table, of the columns right here, and even the name of the table, as you can see, the number of columns and even the table name. Okay, but I want to use SQL. Okay, let me use SQL because I want you to be comfortable with it. Okay, and if you don't know about SQL, I have a video for that. Okay, link, I have a video. Okay, full videos. Okay, or the tutorials, full tutorial, okay, about SQL, how to use SQL commands. Okay, so I'm going to go in the VS Code, and right here I have my SQL codes. Okay, SQL commands here that I'm going to use to create a table. And here, as you can see, we are using the create table commands here, as you can see, create tables. We are creating a table, and this is the table name. It is called users, and it has 4 columns, okay? And the first column is the ID, okay? And it is going to contain only integers, okay? As you can see, int for integers, okay? Whole numbers, okay? And other numbers. So here, as you can see, we have auto increment. So this column is going to be incrementing automatically, okay? It's going to be incrementing the values automatically, and as you can see, this one is going to have the primary key. It's going to contain the primary keys for each user. So here, as you can see, we have another column. It is called names, and here it is going to be containing strings, okay? And these strings are going to have a maximum of 100 characters, okay? So we have another one, which is the email column, and it is going to have also strings which are going to have a maximum of 100 characters. And we also have another last one, which is called the age column, and it is going to contain 100. It is going to contain integers, okay? So allow me to copy this code here. You can also copy it, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Here I have this menu button right here. As you can see, if I click it, I get to see these options, okay? So for you, you might not see something like this, okay? Because for me, I've zoomed in, okay? I've zoomed in. That's why this one is showing up, okay? This menu button is showing up. But if I try to zoom out, as you can see, I get this interface, okay? As you can see, I have these options, okay? So you can click on this one, SQL, okay? SQL. So if I click on it, okay, so I get this interface, okay? And here I can write all the SQL commands, okay? So I'm just going to paste the SQL commands that I copied, okay, from VS Code. So as you can see here, there is no error. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down here, just scroll down until you see this button, go button, okay, and just press it, okay? And when we press it, as you can see, MySQL returned an empty result set, as you can see, and here it means our SQL has been okay. Okay, so let me, okay, as you can see here, it has been fine, okay? It is fine, it has been fine, okay? It has been executed. And as you can see here, we have one table here. It is called users, and if I click in it and I scroll, as you can see here, we have 4 columns. We have the ID, names, email, and age, okay? As you can see here. So we can now start using our table. We can start filling in data, inserting in records, okay? So that is it. That is it. We can start using it, okay? So we have seen, and in the next part, we are going to see how we can connect PHP to MySQL, okay? Let us now take a look at how we can connect PHP to MySQL server and the database that we want, okay? So right here, we have our PHP script, okay? And this PHP script is called the index.php. It is right here, index.php, and it is found inside the XAMPP, okay? The folder where it is found inside the XAMPP. So let me show you where it is found. Let me show you. So when I go here, this PC, so I go inside here, locate where XAMPP is, okay? So when I look at where XAMPP is, and then look for htdocs, okay? htdocs folder, then htdocs, it is inside the XAMPP folder, okay? So inside the XAMPP folder, then we go inside the htdocs. Then from there, we locate where our folder is, and we have a folder here. It is called my site, okay? Then from there, it's inside this my site folder is where we have our index.php file, okay? So we are going to do that. So you can just copy this path, okay? You can just copy this path, okay? But don't copy, okay? Don't copy it. Let us go here. Let me show you. Let us see, okay, what this code does. Let us run it before I explain. Let us run it. So we are going to open our web browser here, and I'm going to open a new tab. Make sure that your MySQL server is running. As you can see here, MySQL server is running, and also the Apache server is running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press localhost, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write localhost, then slash my site, the folder that I showed you, okay, where our file is, my site, and then forward slash the name of the file, okay, localhost forward slash my site forward slash index.php, php like that. And if I press enter, as you can see, we get this one connected successfully. Okay, so let me show you, let me explain what this code does, okay, what we are doing inside the code. Okay, so inside VS Code here, let me explain everything. So here we get the server. This is the server name, okay, that we are using. We create a server name. We create a variable called the server name, and this variable is going to contain a string which is localhost. Okay, so this is the server name. It is called localhost. Okay, so we have the username. Another one, the username, we are using root. You can use any user, okay, any user that you created in MySQL, okay. But if you've just installed and you have not changed anything, this is what you are going to follow. Accept for this database name. Okay, so for the database name, you need to create a database, and for this case, I created a database called the test. Okay, database. Okay, and the password for root, okay, because I've not changed anything, is going to be empty string. It is going to be empty. Okay, so and the root user. Okay, so from there we are going to create a connection. Okay, we are going to create a connection, and this connection we are going to use MySQL. Okay, to create this new connection, we use the new keyword. Then we are going to create a MySQL from the MySQL. Okay, so we are going to use the MySQL object, and this MySQL object is takes in some parameters, some arguments. Okay, and the first argument is the server name that we have created, and the next one is the username, third one is the password, and the fourth one is the database name. Okay, from there we need to check if our connection was successful using the if statement. Okay, so here we are going to check if there is a connection error. Okay, so if there is a connection error, we are going to exit our script. Okay, we are going to exit out our script, which means all the code that runs down, okay, all the code, okay, that goes down is not going to be run. Okay, all the proceeding code, all the code, okay, that goes from here, okay, is not going to be run. Okay, is not going to be run, even if inside this statement is not going to be run. Okay, so we are going to die out, okay, our script, or from our script, and then we are going to output this information that connection failed. Okay, and then we are going to print out the error. Okay, the error that we have got if the connection has not been successful. Otherwise, we are going to echo out connected successfully. Okay, so if we save and then we run our command again, run our file again, as you can see, refresh our browser, we get this one connected successfully. Okay, so let us see if we try to switch off the MySQL server. So let us stop, let us click stop, and then we try to refresh. Okay, let us try to refresh. If we refresh, let us wait, it is trying to connect. Okay, so when it tries to connect, as you can see here, we get connection failed, no connection could be made because the target machine actively refused it. Okay, so this is the what we get. Okay, as you can see here, connection failed, and even the error. Okay, as you can see here, connection failed, and the error that we have got. Okay, right there. Okay, so that's how we can connect PHP to MySQL database. Okay, so that is it, that's how we can do it. So let's now take a look at how we can insert data into a table. Okay, so here, right here, I have the code here, right here, in the index.php file. As you can see here, index.php file, right here. So here we first made a connection to the database, right here. We first made a connection to that database, right here. So from there, what we do next is we insert the data into the table, okay, that we created. Okay, so here in the MySQL, let me show you here in MySQL, right here, I have a database here. It is called test, and it has the users table. Okay, and this users table looks like this. Okay, it has 4 columns: the ID, names, email, and age. Okay, so from there And now let me explain what this code does. Okay, so here we have the name variable, and it contains this name called John Doe in form of a string, because it is a string. And we have an email variable, and this email variable has a john@example.com. From there we have another variable called age, and this age is 25, and it is an integer. And from there we have this SQL code. Okay, this is another variable, okay, which is going to contain a string which has our SQL commands. Okay, so right here, let me show you everything. Okay, so right here, okay, so it ends there. So here we have SQL equals and this string. Inside this string we have insert into. We are inserting into users. This is the table, the name of the table, it is called users, and it has 4 columns, but the first one, which is the ID, is was set to be incrementing, automatically incrementing. Okay, so there is a command, okay, that was specified that it will be incrementing, okay, the values, okay, the integer values. Okay, so here we don't need to specify that one for ID. We just need to specify the names column, the email, and the age column. Okay, from there we need to specify the values, okay, that we are going to insert in these columns. Okay, these are respective columns. Okay, respective columns. Okay, so here we have the first one, the name. Okay, the name, this name is going to be put in this column. Okay, in this names column. We have this email, so this email is going to also be put in this email column, and this age data is going to be put in the age column. Okay, so from there we need to check if we need to execute our SQL. Okay, so we execute it like this. We use the connection object. This connection, we use the connection object, and this connection object we are going to access the query. Okay, and this query is going to help us execute our SQL code. Okay, so inside here we pass in our SQL, okay, our SQL variable, and this SQL, and after executing our SQL code is going to return true. Okay, if it has been successfully. Okay, so if it has been successfully, which means it is equals to true, we are going to echo this out: new record created successfully. Otherwise, using the else statement, otherwise we are going to echo out the error, and we are going to echo out our SQL code. After that, we are going to get our that connection error, okay, that we have got. From there, we are going to close our connection. Okay, so let me save. After saving, we are going to open our web browser. As you can see here, localhost, we are inside the my site folder, which is inside the htdocs folder. Then we go inside the index.php, which is inside the my site folder. Okay, so let us refresh. If we refresh, we get this output. We get connection successfully. As you can see, we first made a connection, so connection successfully. This one, let me show you. This one here, connection successful, because here we are checking for the connection successfully, and from there new record created successfully. As you can see here, new record created successfully. And if we go inside our PHP my admin for MySQL, and then we check inside our table, we refresh, just click it again or just refresh here, so you will see this data. Okay, as you can see, we have the IDs 1, and the names. Under the names we have John Doe, we have the email, which is john@example.com, and the age is 25. Okay, so which means we have successfully inserted our data. Okay, let us now take a look at how we can fetch data from our table. Okay, so here, right here, let me open, and we see the data that we have in our table. We confirm that we have that data. So here, localhost, as you can see here, I'm accessing the MySQL admin panel. MySQL admin panel. So here, inside here, I have a database test. Then we go inside the users table. Then in the users table, if I refresh, we get this data. As you can see, we have John Doe. Okay, John Doe first, and even then another one. Okay, as you can see, we have these two information. Okay, so here this one was created but let me delete so that we remain with only one. Okay, so let me delete this one. Okay, so if I delete, so we only have this one. Okay, so we have this one. So if I go back here, let me go back. So here inside the VS Code, my VS Code, we have the index.php file here. Then inside this index.php we have this code. Okay, and this code, the first one here, right here, we are connecting to the database. Here, as you can see, we are connecting to the database. After connecting to the database, we insert data into the table we created. Okay, so here, as you can see here, we have the table. We have our table. It is called the users table. Okay, right here we have the users table, and these are the columns that we have. We also have the ID column, which has the auto increment. Okay, which has the auto increment. Okay, so we could have it like there. Okay, like that. Okay, but it was set to auto increment, so it is going to be incrementing automatically. So after there, we insert. So right here, this code is not helpful because we have our data and we just want to get that data. Okay, so let me comment out all of that one. Okay, so after commenting all of that one, we are going to need this one, connection.cross. Here, this connection, this cross. So let me copy it out, and down here we are going to fetch our data. Okay, so that connection.cross, let me paste it there. Okay, so this is how it is going to look like. Okay, so here we are going to have our SQL command. Okay, right here, and here we have select all from users. So we are selecting all from users. We are selecting all the data from users. Okay, so after selecting that, we are going to run our query here. We're going to run our query. We specify it is called $SQL_fetch, and it is going to be here. This result is going to be handling. Okay, so whatever, okay, it's going to be handling. So from there, we are going to use the if statement to check the number of rows that we have got. Okay, so here we use the result. So the result, and the result, we are going to check for the number of columns. Okay, if the number of columns are greater than 0, which means we have data inside. Okay, so if they are greater than 0, which means we have some data. Okay, so and from there, if we have some data, we are going to try to loop through, okay, that data. Okay, after converting it into a string. Okay, so here, as you can see here, we are going to use the while loop. We are going to use the while loop, and we are going to access this result. Okay, the result, and we are going to use the fetch sock. Okay, and this one fetch the next row of a result set as an associative array. Okay, so here, as we can see here, we return an array. Okay, so in this array that we return, and we put it inside this row variable, we are going to use this. We are going to use what we are going to use. We can use indexes, but here we are going to use the name of those columns. Okay, the name of those columns. Okay, it is going to return like a dictionary like object. Okay, and we are going to use we can use the keys. Okay, we are going to use these keys. Okay, these are going to be the keys that we are going to use. Okay, and we have the first key is the ID, names, and the email, and also the age. Okay, so we are going to access them like that. Okay, and then we are going to echo out them. Okay, so otherwise if these rows, okay, if we have like 0 rows, okay, if we have 0 rows, then if this condition is not true, then we are going to echo out no results found, which means the table is empty. Okay, so if we save and then we go back in the browser so that we can execute, remember this index.php is inside the my site folder, which is inside the htdocs folder. So if I refresh, as you can see, we get our data. We get the ID, it is 1. We get the name, which is John, and we get the email, John Doe, which is John Doe. The name is John Doe, and we get the email, which is john@example.com. So if I try to zoom a little bit, as you can see here, john@example.com, and even our age, which is 25. Okay, so that's how we can fetch data. You can try to style this data using HTML. Okay, you can try using HTML so that you style this output. Okay, so you can try that one. Okay, but that's how we fetch data from MySQL database from that table, okay, from the table which is inside the MySQL database. Okay, so that's how we can do it. That's how we can do it. So we are going to take a look at how we can delete, or how we can update and delete data, okay, in the next part. Let us now take a look at how we can update the existing data in our table. Okay, so right here, let us go in here. MySQL is still running. MySQL and Apache servers are still running. As you can see, they are running. And inside here, let me go. So here, when I try to access the MySQL admin panel, and then I go inside, let me zoom out a little bit so that you see everything clearly. So here, inside here, we have the test database. Then inside the test database, we have a table called users, and in the users table, we have this data. Okay, we have this data. It is right here, as you can see here. It is right here. So we have the ID. The ID is 1. The name here we have John Doe in this record, and the email is john@email.com, at example.com, and we have this age, which is 25. Okay, so from there we know that we have our data there, and the ID is the one that we are going to use to access this record. Okay, so the ID is 1. Okay, so let us go back in VS Code. So in VS Code we have this code right here. So right here, so it looks like this. Here we connect to the database. Okay, we connect to the database. After connecting to the database, we go down here. All these are comments. Okay, all those are comments. They're comments. Okay, so from there we fetch the data, but this one we don't need it. Let me comment it out. Let me comment all of that out. So after commenting all of that out, we are not going to fetch that data. We just want to update the data. Okay, so we are going to have only this code and the other one of connecting to the to MySQL, okay, database. So from there, here as you can see, we have MySQL here, SQL commands here. We have the update. We are updating users table, the users table, and we are setting the age, the age to be 30, where the ID equals to 1. Okay, so we are going to change the age to 30 where the ID is 1. Okay, so from there we are going to execute our query. Okay, so we are going to use the dollar connection, the dollar con object, and we access the query command. Here as you can see, the query we are executing a query, and inside here we are passing in our query. Okay, our query, and in this case it is SQL underscore update. Okay, that one. And if it is equals to true, remember it is going to execute. Remember this one executes our query and it returns true if it has been successful. Otherwise it returns false. And if it returns true, it means our query has been executed successfully. We are going to run a record updated successfully, which means our record has been updated, and then we shall go and check if the age is no longer 25, is now 30. Okay, and otherwise we are going to echo out error updating record. Okay, so this connection, this con is right here. Let me show you where we created it when we were creating a connection. It is right here. Okay, as you can see. So this is what we have in our file. So if I try to save, but before we execute, let us go back and we confirm. As you can see, we have, and the age is 25. Okay, so if I open this a new tab, a new window, and then I try, as you can see here, my site /index.php, as you can see right here. So if I try to refresh, let me refresh. As you can see, connected successfully, and as you can see here, record updated successfully. Okay, so which means our record has been updated. If we go back, as you can see, there is nothing. Okay, the age has not changed to 30. Okay, but if we try to come here and then we refresh, let us refresh, and if it finishes refreshing, as you can see, age is now 30. Okay, so we have successfully updated. We have updated our data in this table, in this record, okay, in this table called users table. Okay, so that is it. That's how we can update. Okay, that's how we can update. Okay, Let us now take a look at how we can delete data from the table. Okay, so right here inside VS Code, we have this code, okay, that we are going to use to delete the data. Okay, so here in this code we have this SQL commands. It is right here. They are right here. SQL commands. We are going to put them in form of a string. Okay, so here as you can see, we delete from the users table, where id equals to 1. Okay, so we are deleting where id is equals to 1. Okay, so we are going to store all that commands in a SQL underscore delete variable. Okay, so after there we are going to use the if statement to check if our query has been executed successfully. Okay, so as you can see here, if it has been executed successfully, so here we use the object $con query, and then we access the query which is going to help us execute our query. Okay, and then if it is equals to true, we are going to run this command. Okay, and this code, this $con, remember it is right here. So here inside my file, it is called index.php. I have this code. So here we connect to the database. Okay, right here, and this connection is right here. This one, we made a new connection using this one. Okay, we use the MySQL. Okay, as you can see here. So we connect to the database. From there, this is just comments. These are just comments. Okay, so even if I delete them, there is no problem. Let me delete all of them so that they don't overwhelm you. So let me delete everything. Okay, so up to there. So this is what we have so far. This is what we have. We connect to the database. Okay, after connecting to the database, then we want to delete the data. Okay, so inside here, if it returns true, if this query, if our query gets, our commands gets executed, and then it returns true. Okay, and then we return true like this, it means we are going to run this command. We are going to run this code. Okay, we're going to echo out or record deleted successfully. Okay, otherwise we are going to echo out error deleting the data. Okay, so we are going to be getting the error. Okay, we're going to be, as you can see, we are going to print out this one. Okay, I think you get it. Okay, after there we are going to close our connection. Okay, so if I try to save, but before we delete that record, let us go back and then we check if our record is there. Okay, so if we go back in MySQL admin panel, and then we enter in our database, it is called test database, and then we go inside the users table. Have a table is there, the table is there, and then we scroll down. As you can see, we have our record, it is there, and we have this record where the ID is 1. Okay, so let us try to delete this record. So if we go here in a new tab, and then we access our PHP script, it is inside the my site folder. As you can see, the my site folder, which is inside the htdocs folder. Okay, so here as you can see, we are using localhost /mysite/index.php. so if I try to refresh, as you can see, we get this output: connected successfully, record deleted successfully. Okay, so the record has been deleted successfully. So if we go in our panel, in our PHP admin panel, in our SQL admin panel, and then we refresh. If we refresh, we are going to get an empty table, as you can see, because we had only one record which we have deleted. As you can see, we have now an empty table. As you can see, it is now empty, which means we have successfully deleted our data. Okay, so that is it. That is it about deleting data from our table. Okay.